Hello, church family. Our present challenges remind me of our own American history. From 1933 through 1944, Franklin D. Roosevelt had some rather famous radio talks. They were coined his fireside chats. As he addressed the nation some 30 times in this period, he gave messages from the Great Depression to World War II. He addressed the nation through the banking crisis, to farmers and laborers. He spoke of sacrifice, of responsibility of every American, of buying war bonds, and even their current economic progress. He addressed so many issues that the nation was facing during those enormously challenging times. Those talks were summarized as messages of unity, hope, and comfort to the nation. In today's study, I want us to do something similar, for us to look at a passage today that can bring us an overwhelming sense of unity, hope, and comfort. Today, in the word devotional, is 2 Corinthians 1, verses 3 through 11. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in our affliction, so that we will be able to comfort those who are in any affliction with the comfort that with which we ourselves are comforted by God. For just as the sufferings of Christ are ours in abundance, so also our comfort is abundant through Christ. But if we are afflicted, it is for your comfort and salvation. And if we are comforted, it is for your comfort, which is effective in the patient enduring of the same sufferings which we also suffer. And our hope for you is firmly grounded, knowing that as you are sharing our suffering, so also you are sharing our comfort. For we do not want you to be unaware, brethren, of our affliction which has come to us in Asia, that we were burdened excessively beyond our strength, so that we despaired even of life. Indeed, we had the sentence of death within ourselves, so that we would not trust in ourselves, but in God, who raises the dead, who delivered us from so great of a peril of death, and will deliver us. He on whom we have set our hope, and he will yet deliver us. And you also joining in helping us through your prayers, so that thanks may be given by many persons on our behalf, for the favor bestowed on us through all the prayers of many. As Paul begins his second letter to the Corinthians, he shares his comfort and joy with them. But not only that, but he shares this unique view of God. Paul calls God the God of all comfort, and who comforts us in all our troubles, verses 3 and 4. Which is wonderful to hear and meditate upon, that God, he seeks me and he loves me and blesses me even when life all around me is so chaotic. Then Paul shares the reason why, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves have received from God. Any comfort we receive is not for us to keep for ourselves, but it's to pass on to others. Our suffering is not ours alone, but it's to be shared. Our comfort is not ours alone, but it's to be shared. Our hope is not ours alone, but it's to be shared. In this comfort from God, we are united in faith and hope and love. But being united like this, it also produces something. Paul tells the Corinthians that it produces in you patient endurance for the same sufferings we suffer, in verse 6. Essentially saying, your suffering helps you, and our suffering helps you endure your suffering. Our trials help you endure your trials. This suffering and comfort is mutually beneficial. It actually helps us both. I'd like us to conclude with verse 9, where Paul says something very significant. You see, Paul's trials have him on the threshold of death, and he feels he is about to be slain. He says in verse 9, indeed, we had received the sentence of death, but this happened that we might not rely on ourselves, but on God, who raises the dead. He delivered us from such a deadly peril, and He will deliver us again. On Him, we have set our hope that He will continue to deliver us as you help us by your prayers. So did you catch that? That Paul is surrounded with the certainty of death, suffering and trials and challenges and difficulty, and even death is upon him, and isn't so he'd rely on himself, but it's so that we would rely upon God. Our God, He offers us love and forgiveness, and He unites us with His Spirit, and He gives us hope in His Son, and He even raises the dead. The God of all comfort, He has comfort for you. He says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Thank you for joining me for this week's lesson of In the Word.